wanted to propose something very radical, and that's falling in love with resistance. And yes, you heard me right. We're not trying to fix it or manage it or heal it or lessen it. We're actually falling in love with resistance. Now, why is this interesting? The invitation arose as I was contemplating the pretty much constant arisal of resistance. And we know this from our daily lives, right? Like, it's raining, it shouldn't be raining. I'm late, I shouldn't have been late, right? So whether it's external or internal, there's a judgment. There's a strong and sometimes more subtle preference. But notice that that's the very mechanism of selfing, trying to get somewhere else than where we are right now. And occasionally we have those brief moments where that comes to a standstill, that seeking, that getting away from, that getting towards to, suddenly can stop. And this can be brought about by certain things. It can be a shock, something terrible happens, and we're just momentarily dazed. And suddenly, this is what a lot of people relate. In these states of shock, there's a weird equanimity, silence, and presence, almost like a stillness amidst in the eye of the tornado. Another thing might be actually getting what we want. We all know that one. Getting that promotion, getting that car, getting that girl, getting whatever it is that we've put in our vision board for 2025 or whatever. And actually, lo and behold, we did manage to get it. And whether it is for a second, a day, or a week, we actually feel more at peace. We found joy. That thing, relationship, substance, whatever it is, seemed to have momentarily fixed the gap, fill the hole. But we all know where this goes next, right? This never ever lasts. And this is the delusion of the small separate self, the ego, who thinks that that wasn't that thing. The goalpost keeps moving, right? The whole idea of a hedonistic treadmill that we're on. So the moment that you reach goal A, there's already a new goal being envisioned on the horizon. And so having achieved goal A only tastes good for that long until it loses its splendor. We all know that feeling. And I want to argue that it's actually a very intelligent mechanism that's at play here. It is by design, you guys. It is so that after we've done that a couple of times, and by couple I mean hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions in a lifetime, both big and small, at some point the idea is that we recognize that that's not the path forward, okay? We have gotten the thing, no matter what the thing was, whether we bring ourselves back to childhood when we were small children and we fantasized about getting the action figure that was going to make us happy. And then on day 5, the action figure was already collecting dust on a shelf, or whether it's an adult fantasy of getting the job, getting the house, getting the wife, getting the family, whatever. I'm just speaking in general terms, but you're getting the picture here. You can ask most people that have gotten the promotion and the big bonus how they feel or how that makes them feel a year later, and I will bet you that they already have a new goal that they're working towards. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like this is not a message of, hey guys, we're trying to be spiritual here, so let's all sit on our buttocks and do nothing all day because nothing makes sense and nothing that we will ever achieve in the external world would ever fill the void, and we will forever remain miserable, so we might as well not try. Okay, so somebody will probably clip this video and make a short of that and post it online. That is not what I'm saying, right? But there's something very valuable hidden here, and it is the recognition that nothing out there will make us happy, will fill that void, because the void is not real. We are playing with the idea of lack. We are imagining lack in the kingdom of heaven that is here. It is inside of your heart cave. It is everywhere you look. You'll see abundance and love, or you'll see lack, trauma, wounds, and a necessity for healing, for fixing, for getting more, for achieving more. So notice how this is the projection of the mind, which ultimately chooses to play in this way because there's no other force in the whole universe than you. It is just you and me, the one, God's mind, envisioning all of the drama, all of the story, so that we can experience what it is like to live a life of lack, of fear, of separation. And so here I'm making a full circle back to the idea of resistance, that actually, as we come out of the dream, as we begin to rub the dream dust out of our eyes and we awaken to the reality, which has always been so. It has always been whole, it has always been loving and safe. And yet we have forgotten ourselves, not by mistake, but because we chose to. As we begin to do that, and we recognize that resistance will only be a remnant of that magic, of that illusion. It's like the greatest magician ever. It's the greatest magic trick ever. To be the one, omnipotent, literally God, you're literally God, and you make yourself forget so fully and so convincingly that you are not that you're something else entirely, that you're small and vulnerable and separate, and that there is something lacking. How can there be something lacking if you are the Alpha and the Omega? You are it all. And yet you have told yourself by very skillful means that something is off, something is lacking, something needs fixing. And I don't like that. You're literally pointing at another part of yourself and you say, I don't like that. I don't like myself. And so rather than this being a talk about integrating that resistance, which I've done plenty of talks about that, but I want to present you with a different idea, which I find fascinating. What if we open up to that resistance which arises in us, not as something that is wrong, something to be overcome or transcended, but actually something to be inspired and in awe. Inspired, I'm not sure about the choice of words, but you get what I'm saying. How about we find beauty and perfection and awe in the resistance that arises in us, just to appreciate the amount of mastery that goes into creating that illusion that makes us feel so strongly resistant to certain life events that ensue. And from my experience, as I've been playing with this idea, something beautiful begins to open up. And I don't even know if I have to say it. You know, I might leave this as an exercise for the reader, so to speak. Just notice what happens the next time resistance comes up. And you know, you can't push it, right? Like you probably want to practice with this when the resistance isn't that high, or when you feel particularly grounded and resourced, you know, when there is an opening in awareness. Um, in those moments, try to approach that resistance with curiosity. And this might remind you of classical IFS because it is, right? That is just a part that says, I don't like that, or I need that. I don't like where I am now because I need that. I'm lacking. And just approach that part not only with curiosity, here's the invitation, approach it with such awe and wonder and love that you just consume it with a flame of passion, of passionate inquiry into how it is possible that on some level you know yourself already. If you found your way to this channel, you probably do. You know yourself as it, as that which carries no name. And at the very same time, you're having a visceral reaction to a perceived sense of lack or fear, scarcity, loneliness, whatever it is. Isn't that fascinating? Can that be something that we play with and experiment with and see what that turns into, what that opens up into? I am really curious. I've just begun experimenting with this myself. I would be curious to hear how this plays out for you guys. So if you give it a go and you find something, then please drop a comment below and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.